for this match to get underway. It was quite a ceremony as well, wasn't it? You see the Saudis clearly are very happy to have this event here, and it is a 10-year deal, so this is going to be just the start, really. So let's get the match underway then. Here we go. Ko Pin-Yi, the 2015 world champion, against Jeffrey Idnacio.
I'm actually a big fan of both of these players, Dave. Idnacio is really a loose player. I feel like Ko is more technical. It'll be interesting to see how this match starts.
As you can see, it is a race to 9. Now, I'm sort of from a snooker background, but I'm fascinated by the break shot in this game because, of course, it is the key shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the key shot. It starts with the lag. Ko pretty short of a good lag there. Let's hope that's not a sign of what's to come. I don't believe it will be. He is a technician of the game. There you see it. He's got the 1 down. He's got a good shot on the 2. These guys will play the 1 in that right middle if they're breaking from the left side of the table or our left side of the table. You'll see the 9 looming in the lower right. And that's going to be a little bit short. Early first game jitters already, Dave.
Yeah, as I say, I did feel the difference. I came yesterday afternoon and it was all kind of, oh, great to see everyone and isn't it exciting. But today, of course, now you're playing, you want to make a good start, you want to lay down a marker early on. And there's bound to be nerves. Of course there is. This is a huge week.
Yeah, you can say that again. I think actually the further this week goes, some players will get dialed and some will do the opposite because of the money involved. Well, what a hit that was. To come 2 rails at minimum towards the purple 5 to the top right. He's going to have to watch out for traffic. He's going to go defensive here. Well done. And in your background, we would call that a snooker.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, if I slip into any terminology from snooker, just give me a slap. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this week, though. Of course, Ko Pin-Yi, he's got 2 brothers, hasn't he, that play. In fact, he's not even the highest ranked player in his own family. His younger brother is higher, isn't he?
Yeah, no doubt. Ko Ping-chung, somebody that won the U.S. Open last year that I just was introduced to during that event. Boy, what an impressive player he is. I think he's playing the best out of the brothers right now. But this man here, I don't know that I've ever seen him play poorly.
Yeah, he's Ko Pin-Yi's 12 in the world. His younger brother is 4 at the moment.
And he's just short of the mark. You'd have thought that ball would have lengthened out a little bit more. Maybe that's the humidity that Jeremy Jones was talking about. Tables felt a little bit cold and wet, but it's a big venue and a beautiful venue at that. Something this man does is plays quick, but he's come up short a few times now, Dave.
Yeah. Maybe it is, as you say, conditions in what is a new territory really for the sport in terms of hosting events.
Yeah, and is he forced, as you see a replay, want to come 3 rails out and get above the purple 5? Is he forced now to play another defensive shot? It's the last thing you want to do with 5 balls left on the table, especially at this level. You do not want to let your man back to the table. What's he thinking? He's weighing up the bank now. And he's left distance. It's not terrible. But this is definitely makeable. I think he's forced to take this cut on. He's going to use maybe a tip of outside English. He wants to catch it thin. Nothing fun to start out with, that's for certain. I think you've got to put all your focus into just getting this ball down. Where the cue ball ends up, where it ends up. And he elected to get away from it. How did he do?
Yeah, if you're going to play defensive shot, play a good one. He has done. So quite a cagey start here. Both players just settling in, getting used to the table, getting used to this arena. Been a big build-up as well, haven't there? You know, we had the opening ceremony. You don't see that at every event. Just reminding everyone how important this is, what a big week it is.
Yeah, and what an interesting rack this is. Two scenarios now where I thought they might go aggressive. They went passive, which is okay. Like you said, bit of a cagey start, but they're trying to get the feel. Both defensive plays were great, so you can't fault them there. Does have to attack here, Dave.
Yeah, so on the front foot now.
Only trouble really, if he gets on the 7, he's still got to get good to the 8. He's got some work to do. Anywhere center table, even where he's at now on the 8 will work. He's got to get to the 7 first here. Interesting decision, Dave. He decided to come all the way over. This will lead the cue ball out towards the center, though. These top players like to avoid the middle pockets. Clean strike. He's going to look to come 3 rails back out towards the center. Yeah, get another look at this.
Well, he was cagey, but assuming he does pot this, as he surely will. This has been a good visit from Ko Pin-Yi just to settle into this match and take the opening rack. Remember, it's first to 9, and it is Chinese Taipei's Ko Pin-Yi who takes the opener. Yeah, just kind of sussing out the table, sussing out the whole environment here. I'm sure both players will settle down, but you just want to get on that scoreboard, don't you, in any sort of tournament, but particularly here, just get a rack on the board and see where you go from there.
Yeah, and I think they break down percentages. Jeremy Jones has discussed it before. I've discussed it. I know Carl's been involved in discussing it, but it seems like 70% or somewhere around there of the players that win that first game go on to win the match. Now, in this environment, everything might be different, right? It's a very intimidating environment. This is, without a doubt, the best venue we've seen in professional cue sports.
Yeah, you won't see it from obviously this shot, but it's a huge arena this, and there's tables wherever you look, action going on wherever you look. So rack number 2, Copini of course having won the opener.
Yeah, so this is going to be a cut break. He's looking to play the 1 to the right middle. Like to arc the cue ball back and forth, just across or into the 9. Keep your eye on the yellow 1. And there you get another look. He actually caught those a little thick, Dave. The cue ball come 2 rails above the left middle, but it's turned out real sweet. He's got a good shot on the 2, and I don't see a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, everything's in play, isn't it? So it's a definite chance to run out here. In terms of this year, he's been runner-up in the Premier League, Copini. He was in the semis of the World Pool Masters, semis of the Scottish Open as well. But of course, they all won trophies.
And he's looking to see if he can get the ball cleaned. I think he also finished. Probably wrong, but I think he's pretty sure he finished on the final the PLP this year at Jason Shaw's room in Connecticut. He and his brother, Shane Van Bonen, beat Koping Chung and Koping Yi in the final 4. Big shot here.
Yeah, to make it into a bigger shot the longer he takes over it, I guess. Feels it's probably key to winning this rack.
Well, that's a very good point, right? Sometimes when is it overthinking? And to your point, Dave, which is a very valid point, and I'm sure it's the same in snooker, right? There comes a moment where you can talk yourself out of the shot or just really work yourself into a cluster that's not necessarily needed. He makes that shot 1,000 out of 1,000 in practice.
Yeah, sometimes, certainly from the snooker world, you have to sort of kid yourself sometimes. It's not as tough as you think, and just play it. Just play the shot. You'll probably get it. But he did take a long time over it, didn't he? And he didn't get it.
And I like what he thought there. He wanted to use the 8 as cover, and I think he's got backup with the 6 and the 4. Looks like he's going to go to the second rail, and he did. Did he get a good rub? Idnacio going to be able to see a piece of this, I believe. Utilizing the 9, the 6, and the 4. If he can see all the 2, he might be able to go a different route. He might even be able to make the 2. Let's see what he's got in mind. Yeah, pretty cagey play right there. Makes this ball tougher to hit versus trying to come back behind the 3. So out there in the middle makes the kick a lot tougher. Boy, he's going to go with the 1 rail here, where you might be able to consider the 2 rail option to the top right long rail and the short rail towards the back of the 2. Might have been a bigger ball to hit.
Well, he's had a better chance to go in, having missed the 2 initially.
see a lot of trouble here. One rail up for the pink in the left middle. Yeah, a little light. So he's going to be going away from the purple 5. That's what he's looking at here, this angle.
Should just say, you can hear those beeps. That's not on this match. There's a shot clock on the main table, if you're wondering what that's about. If you're wondering why he's not rushing or asking for time extensions, that doesn't apply on this table.
He's held it nicely. Proceeds to get out here, this will send a message to Idnacio. Such a smooth cueist. Transition is pure.
Wiping that cue down, the humidity is going to be a factor in this event, I think. One thing no one can control is the weather. It's out of everybody's control. But you can control yourself at the table. He didn't, of course, run out from the break, missed the 2, but got the cover. Idnacio scratched, and this is for 2-0 for Copigny. So it's a good start for him. He can forget about the earlier miss. He's won the rack. And his opponent just looking at racks to the good here. First to 9, remember.
Yeah, I think these players are aware, Dave. This event is life-changing, right? You win this event, pretty sure it's going to stick with you for a long time to come. And this man at the table, trying to get the 1 down. He caught him a fraction thing. You got to wonder if he made the adjustment from the time before. Even though he got the 1 down the time before, he caught him thick. This time, caught him too thin.
Yeah, already that 9 is right over that pocket.
Yeah, and it's a big opportunity for Idnacio to get on the table or get on the board. I'd like to be in the middle somewhere where he just put his cue. Anywhere there, he can carry him the 9 at worst. This will be okay. Might have to hit this with a little pace.
That'll do nicely. Exactly what he was looking for. He kind of needed, I'm not saying a gift, but he needed a relatively easy shot, didn't he, just to get on the board. And there it is, the 9 in, the combination. So, Jeffrey Idnacio delighted to get on the board. Maybe he'll just relax a bit now. Remember, it's, as I say, first to 9 in the first round. It is double elimination as well, of course. 128 players here, top 100 on the World 9-board Tour. There's also local wildcards. There's been some qualifying as well. It really is, as well, an international field. Really terrific to see so many countries represented. And wouldn't it be great if one of the Saudi players got on a run here for the local fans? There's actually a fan zone outside as well, which is terrific. So if anyone's in the area, do come down, because there's plenty to enjoy around and about this event.
Yeah, that fan zone's fascinating. I got a ride in from that area there, and I thought I was at the Super Bowl. I really felt like it was out of this world. I was like, is this pool or is this football?
Yeah, it's a massive step up. Of course, the sport's been growing and growing on the Matchroom, and now here we are at the World Championship. And as I say, a lot of excited pool players here. Very grateful players as well, with the chance to, as you say, change their life this week. Ignacio then on the board, 2-1, he trails.
Yeah, and he definitely direly needs to get the 1 down. And that's pretty good speed. He got a good kiss right there mid-rack as well. Take another look. Yeah, he got a good kiss on the brown 7. He's going to have a shot on the 2. Not easy. He's got some work to do here. He's got to want to avoid the brown 7, Dave. Coming back and forth for the red 3 in the top right. Need to get that rack moved. Yeah, and you can see from this angle here, that 7 is a big ball if he wants to go back and forth, so he's going to have to manipulate the angle. I believe he wants to stay above it if he takes it on. We're playing on 4-inch pockets, new cloth. It is Simona's cloth. And he is aggressive, and he will take it on. And he's overcut it. It's down. Just punch out 1 rail here. Really clean stroke. He's overhit that ball. Gonna be fine. What a clean hit. He generates a lot of power. Very loose player once in transition to making the ball. Fun player to watch when he gets going.
Yeah, he won. He did win a 10-ball event, didn't he, this year, Indonesia International Open. Beat FSR in the semis and Robbie Capito in the final, because he just won the UK Open recently.
Watch the corner. Don't want to get flat here. It's going to be all right. Come out 2 rails here, I believe. He's got plenty of angle. Center to high left ball. He's looking at the angle now. He can afford to get straight on the 7. It's not the end of the world. That's what he's done. Just stop your ball here. Take what it gives you. A little movement there.
Yeah, he still looks a little nervy, but at the same time, he has won a rack, so maybe that's just carrying him through here. He needs this, of course, to level up. Well, he took them out well in the end, so 2-0 down, and just struggling a bit, but won that last one with the combination, and this was the winning 9 in rack 4, 2-2.
Looks like Big Co gonna take a break, Dave.
Yep.
He's teaching in his town where he lives here. Nothing down again. The 1 coming short of the middle pocket. A little tricky. Blue 2 in the lower right. He's elevated over the brown 7. The defensive play isn't straightforward. Yeah, a great angle there. We are playing all ball fouls. Do not want to touch a ball with your cue or your hand. Cue ball going to get loose here, I believe. He's going to play the one. He's got a big pocket. He's going to have to use some inside cue ball. Wouldn't mind contact with the brown, I don't think. Now he's leveled out. Oh, he's played this. What a hit, Dave.
Yeah, as I said earlier, you know, it's an attacking game, Paul, but if you're going to play defensive shot, make it a really good one. And he did.
Yeah, he used a kind of a force follow high cue ball to arc it over there behind the 2 and 4. Caught the one thick. Pretty tricky little shot he played. And a tough route to the yellow 1.
Yeah, taking a bit of thinking about this, and of course, he could still hit it and leave it on. So it's trouble.
Yeah, and you mentioned the carom that Idnacio was left to get started, and I think that's what he needed to really get loosened up. Kind of carried the momentum from there. And boy, what a shot so far. This has been the shot of the match. That defensive play was spectacular. Looking to tie the 2 up here, maybe? That's how tough it is to get to the 1. Typically, you won't see guys tie the next ball up because he knows he's relinquishing ball in hand. But that's how tough it was to get to the 1, so he's going to take his chances. Try and go into the pro side of this ball here, the 2. Split him perfectly, Dave.
That's the problem, I guess, when you have ball in hand. He was able to sort of pick his angle to do that. Problem from Copin's point of view, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how tough it was. Credit to Idnacio for the defensive play. He must get out here to really make a statement. He's got to get on the 4, up and down, between the 6 and 8, ideally. Somewhere back out towards the center would be great. That'll work. I get to stop. He doesn't want the wrong angle. He's got options here. Wants to avoid the 7, though. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes 3 rails. A little different, his cueing action. He looks like he's cueing to the left of the ball and then goes right. Yeah, he's more center there, or center left, and then turns into the right side of the cue ball. A little different. Or misleading, I should say. Full of talent, this guy.
Well, he earned the chance, didn't he? Played that really nasty little defensive shot, actually. And now it's up to him to pot these last 2 balls, and he'll be in front for the first time. So 2 to the good. Copigny was looking the more confident, and the danger was he starts to run away with it. It's not happened. It's Jeffrey Idnacio who takes the lead at 3-2. Very interesting start this. I think he was struggling a bit early, wasn't he, with the table and just the conditions, but he seems to be over that now, judging by that visit. See a spread around the various tables, but quite a bit of interest already in this one. Makes a difference for the players. Brought here, there's a special bus with all the pictures of the big hitters and branding. I mean, that just tells you, the fact there's a special bus to bring the players in, that this tournament's gone up a level.
Yeah, and on the drive in, there's all these banners and big standing poles with players' pictures on them, and I mean, there's signs for miles down the road saying World Pool Championship and leading the way to this arena or to this venue. There you see it. He's made the adjustment. He's got the 1 down, and he's got a shot on the 2. These players, Dave, they like to avoid these middle pockets. Is he forced to go to the corner, or does he go to the middle here? Looking at it. You've got to hit it in the meat of the pocket, that's for certain. Little body movement again. I saw a little flinch, but he's turned out real nice. Clearly, the 3 passes, the pink in the left middle.
Yeah, I think this would, if he could win the rack here, run out, it would be a real statement, I think.
And what he's looking at there is he's seeing if the pink passes the purple 5 in the top left. That way he doesn't have to do so much with the cue ball. Otherwise he's going to have to kind of zip the cue ball up between the 4 and 7 to play the 4 in the left middle. If it passes in the top left corner, makes life a lot easier, but he's going to zip it. And that'll be fine.
Yeah, it just stopped, didn't it? He was just a bit concerned he might finish on top of that brown, but no, he's okay. Yeah, I guess you always, in any cue sport, you're looking for signs from your opponent. You're thinking he's not up to this today, but if he takes these out, then you know that he is. And the sort of balance of power in the match has shifted completely.
Yeah, it definitely has shifted. I kind of wonder, I'm not real good geographically, but I kind of wonder the flight differences for both of these guys, how long they've been here. I think that's all a factor, a real big factor. I talked to the players from the U.S. quite a bit about that. Jet lag is a real thing. I think he who rests the most will probably shine in this event.
I don't need to tell you, various things can go wrong travelling, can't they? Suitcases going missing, which you had, I know. So things like that can add to the stress if that's happened to any of the players.
Yeah, and you're right. A lot of things can happen. He's come up short here. And I think that's the only thing we've seen from him so far in this match. He's come up short a few times. He's had time to practice. So is he decelerating a little bit? Evaluating this. He's on the 50, Dave. Worried about the top right corner with the cue ball. Or the right middle with the cue ball. Which one does he play the 7 in? I think he's got to go to the right middle with it. Oh, made it look easy. Look at this hit.
been a lot of shots like that from him in this match where he looked tentative and then he just got down and played a beautiful shot.
Yeah, it's what he tends to do. He's so fluid.
So he was trailing by 2 and hadn't done much to that point, but now certainly looking the stronger. Copigny has got to try and get in and make things happen, but that was very impressive in the end from Jeffrey Ignacio, who's gone 4-2 in front in this race to 9.
Yeah, and even though you would think Copigny's a big favorite in this match, or on paper maybe, he really isn't. I think the fans know that as well. They are starting to pool in here, no pun intended, to watch this match.
Yeah, no, of course, you know, the circuit's building up all the time. There's more tournaments all the time, so they're playing more and more, and therefore, you know, they're all competitive, aren't they? That's the thing. And the more you play, the more regularly you play, the more confident you're going to be. Okay, Ignacio's 87 in the rankings, but it doesn't really come into it, I don't think. It's we've seen in other Q sports, it's on the day, really. They can all play. It's very high standard, great strength and depth.
Yeah, and I do think that this is one of the guys that could actually win the tournament if he gets comfortable. You haven't heard a lot from him over the last couple of years, but boy, I tell you, I've seen him play some great pool, and he is one of the guys that I think could win the tournament. But you start to stretch that out. We've discussed it. I truly deep down think there's 40 or 50 guys that could win the tournament. You could have a breakthrough moment, breakthrough player at any given time. And he's one of them, especially if he wins a match like this, Dave.
Be interesting if he can maybe go a bit further in front, then maybe the pressure comes on. Okay, I've got to get it won now. But anyway, it's a good problem to have. He's 4-2 up at the moment. So it's already well saying Copigny's got to be in, but of course, got to get to the table first.
That's more of the action he wants. The cue ball got a little low or got away from him a fraction. So even if he can see the blue too, it's a challenge. Maybe this is a scenario where you consider the rollout. People at home, that's what he's doing. He's called a push, so he's got the option to shoot it where he wants and play it how he wants, and his opponent has the option to take it or give it back.
Yeah, we can't obviously quite see. We're not down the line of the shot, but these two both had a good look.
Yeah, and if Big Co is giving it back, it tells me it's not easy. Yeah. Wow, look at this. Pretty good. Seems comfortable to me, Dave. He seems very comfortable.
Yeah, he's certainly grown that way, I think, hasn't he, as the match gone, and you saw Copigny just tap the table, appreciation of that last shot.
Yeah, reminiscent of the safe he played earlier on the 1. I mean, he's executed them perfectly. From there, it wasn't easy. He had to avoid the kiss, and he killed the cue ball with a high outside ball to straighten it out and get it behind the brown. We're going airborne. What do you think about the jump cue, Dave? They don't use it in snooker, do
no,
they?
it's a foul, yeah.
Okay.
In snooker, yeah.
Yeah.
You see it accidentally played when players sort of miscue at times.
Yeah, he went to attack there.
When did he last see a pot though in this in this match? You know, he's been shut out, hasn't he, completely?
Yeah, I believe he was 2-0 in the lead, and Since then, to your point, he's had nothing to look at. Idnacio faced with a little trouble here. Is he looking at the 2 to the top right? He definitely looked at the line. It's asking a lot. But sometimes they say when the defensive play is as difficult as the offensive play, well, sometimes you want to take your chances with the offensive play. See there with his cue. He wanted to get the 2 behind the 9. This isn't terrible, though. The 6 is in the way of the cue ball, it looks. The shot, not easy. Wondering if he can hit this with some type of pace and bend around the green. 6. Yeah, that's a miss hit, and that's going to cost him. You've got to expect Idnacio to get out here with ball in hand.
Yeah, that shot just represents, I think, how the match is completely turned around. Coupigny kind of just all at sea now. As I say, he hasn't seen anything easy for a long time and just lost his touch a bit.
Yeah, agreed. You've got to give credit to Idnacio. The speed on that last play, even though he left Ko a shot on the 2, it wasn't easy. He knew he had trouble going into the 6. It all came apart.
Well, he's just got to be hopeful, Coupigny. Just hope for one mistake that could turn it back again, because that could easily happen. Got to be ready if it does.
Yeah, he's going to run the mark of fraction here. He should be fine. 1 rail out to the center of the table. Anywhere straight on the purple 5 is good. Notice the green 6 near the purple 5, so not a lot of work left to do here. Get past this. Everything leads to itself. Yeah, well done. To your point, Dave, it looks like he's settled in, really starting to flow, and that's what he does. Dangerous man when he gets on with it.
Well, he's certainly been effective at not leaving really anything for Coupigny to go. Certainly nothing easy. And then, of course, it's up to him to do the rest. And 3 balls here for a 5-2 lead. Just to reiterate, those pips, that's not from this table. That's from the main table. Not a shot clock on this match.
Yeah, it's a good sign, actually, from Idnacio. He's rooting the cue ball or willing it to go a little further, so he's really starting to zone in on what he's doing. Whereas if this was the first game, I think he'd be thrilled with being right here. Now, wanting to get perfect, nothing wrong with it. Oh, he's got a long reach, and that is why.
Yeah, he really was stretching on that, but anyway, here we are. This is for that 5-2 lead, and now it starts to get serious, I think, for his opponent. The scoreline, but also just he has not really had anything to go at since he led by 2. There it is then. So Jeffrey Idnacio has won 5 racks on the spin, and And he's only 4 from victory, leading 5-2. Copigny, the 2015 champion, the 12th best player in the world on the ranking list, he's in a spot of bother.
Yeah, and to your point, though, it isn't that he's done much wrong.
No.
Been total control from Idnacio. And I felt like I touched on that in the beginning before this match really started. I felt like this was a feature match, and that's why we're doing this commentary.
That's the thing. I think if you can cut out just the elementary errors, you know, you're going to be hard to beat, obviously. And that's what Copigny needs now. He needs to be let in. And then it's up to him, obviously. We know he can reel racks off in no time, but at the moment he's just hoping for that. There's not a lot he can do to force it to happen.
No, there's a good look at him. He doesn't look too panicked, does he? But I think he's thinking like you are, Dave. I mean, he knows that he really hasn't had an opportunity. There's not much he can do, and he's just hoping for that opportunity to be let in.
Well, let's see. It's 5-2. It's a race to 9. Jeffrey Idnacio of the Philippines leading here on the first session of the World Pool Championship in Jeddah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Big week, everyone wanting to do well, but all the sort of pre-tournament excitement has gone now. We're into it, and this is a very important stage of the match. Idnacio looking to pull away towards victory. Hoping to peg him back.
Yeah, and that's something he's done well at, and he's gotten a nice rub on the 2. Where's the pink finish? Oh, boy. This is not a good sign for Copigny.
No, as you say, it was a nice little kiss, and the stars just sort of aligning, aren't they, for Idnacio? Little 9 nudge the blue there, the 2.
And this is also a good sign for Marboys. He plays for Marboys out of the Philippines. Bernie Regulario, the young gun, out here, plays tomorrow. One of my favorite players. Also plays for the Marboys group.
That's the thing as well, this event, of all the ones you can win now, it's going to propel a player who might be sort of quite well known into the kind of Q Sports stratosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, in my opinion, I think this is probably the biggest rotation tournament we've had in possibly recent history, if not history. I think this is the most monumental event of my time in 9-ball pool. Matchroom, Saudis, they're doing it right. He'd like to have been a little flatter on this or a little straighter. I think he's just fine. I don't think he's got to go to that right rail. Doesn't really want to contact the 8 here. If he has to come over to the right long rail, he will. He contacted the 8. You can see him scratching his head. He didn't want to do that. He will be okay. It was a big pocket. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think this is anything to stress over, Dave. Just go on with it, right?
Well, we said earlier, didn't we? You know, if you start building shots up, you know, in your own mind, you're creating pressure when it doesn't need to be any.
Yeah, it wasn't like he missed the ball. He just caught a piece of the 8. The 8 was always there. Yeah, he's caught a piece of the 9 now, and one problem could lead to another, Dave. He's gotten pretty flat. Does he have an angle to come out?
Just, I think in his own mind, he's feeling this has got more complicated than it should have been.
Absolutely right. Yeah, he's made it tougher than it is, and I think it's in his own mind, like you said. Really stressing over this, so he must be fairly straight here on the 7. Doesn't want to take the long 8 on. Is this a turning point in the match? Oh, he's played it rail first.
Well, the body language wasn't good, was it? You know, he was tapping the rail and he was not looking happy, but then he plays a great shot. I think he's showing good character in this match. You know, any sort of negative energy has been dispelled in time to actually play the shot. So this is for a 6-2 lead. Well, what a performance it's turning into for Jeffrey Idnacio, who is now just 3 from victory. It wasn't the most straightforward, but he just held his head up, and that's good. That's what you need to do. Any sort of negative thoughts, they were there, but he got rid of them in time to take those out. So 6-2, and again, you know, what is coping he's supposed to do?
Yeah, that's the question. That remains the question. I thought we might see a blunder there. It just started to get that feeling, right? But it didn't happen.
It's like he sort of gave himself a talking to. You know, okay, it should have been easier, but I'm still going to pot them. And, well, again, he just had to watch. Nothing he could do.
Maybe a little more concerned look on the face of Ko. But still, like you say, not much you can do.
No, you're hoping for the mistake that obviously will get you in, but also will really affect mentally your opponent. But it just hasn't come. And time's running out.
Yeah, Idnacio putting on a show here, really. Playing superb. Been very consistent with the 1 on the break. That's key, because if you don't get that ball down or don't get a ball down on the break, then you don't have control.
So he leads 6-2, and he needs 3 more to win this first match.
Oh, he's got a nice kiss, but then a bad kiss. 6. Gonna cause problems for the blue 2. And you'll notice right there, the 2 catches the 1 and, catches the cue ball up towards the top right. He's gonna have to go defensive here, Dave, right? I think he's got to chip this 2 and try and come behind the 8-9, or what's he got in mind?
Well, of course, that's been a big part of why he's in front. His defensive play has been so good so far.
Yeah, touchy here. Real easy to leave the gap between the 8 and 9. Also real easy if he doesn't catch it thin enough to leave the 2 in front of the right middle. So he's got to really catch it thin. Now he's looking back here. Oh, he's calling the push out. You rarely see players do this, especially when they're wide open to the object ball. Interesting play. Not saying it's the wrong play, just interesting. You gotta wonder. He didn't feel good about chipping the 2. Is this an opportunity for Ko to take control? Can he get back over behind the 7 and the pink? Maybe chip the 2 down here below the 8 and 9. What's he got in mind? He's caught it just a fraction thick, a little thinner, and he gets behind the 8-9. I thought he might consider catching it even thinner and trying to get that cue ball all the way over back behind the pink. So it proved so far to be the right decision by Idnacio. I believe he was trying to get behind the 3 there. He put his hand up like he Got a little lucky. Well, you're entitled. You've played pretty good so far, young man.
Doesn't cheer up his opponent too much, though. He's just getting the odd bit of running as well.
Well, going airborne. Very difficult to keep the cue ball on the table. So close. Oh, wow. Watch the middle. How did he do, Dave?
Well, this could be the moment it turns. He's Idnacio was apologising, but he might be on the wrong end of it here.
Yeah, it's a good point. He might be. And does the pink pass the brown 7? We can go back to the rollout where Idnacio tried to use the 7 to cover the pink up in the top left.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, okay, the shot, the defensive shot on the 2 wasn't easy, but he just handed the initiative over, didn't he? He said, I don't want to play it. I'm going to hand it to you, and maybe that has actually turned things. We'll see.
Yeah, but you're right that it can have a tendency to tell your opponent, hey, maybe he's a little tentative here. And Idnacio got a little negative the game prior. He did get out. He did run the rest of the rack. But we'll see what happens. This tells me the ball passes, and if it doesn't, he's got to land good on the combination. I think he's fallen perfect here.
Well, the main thing is he's potting balls again, which he's not been able to do since rack 2.
Boy, this must be tight. He's had a good look at it several times. Big moment for Big Co. And he's short here, Dave. Just a fraction. So he's looking to come to the left side of this lower right corner with an outside ball. He's going to miss the 9. Boy, it seems dangerous, but the angle must present itself. A little different when you're at the table than where we are. Can't ask for much more than that. He's got to come with one more good one.
Such an important moment in this match. It's not straightforward, but can nail this. Want a chance to pull one back, get back into it. Been shut out comprehensively for the last 6 racks.
Yeah, and I think he's pretty thin here. He might have to come 3 rails to the left side of the table. Oh, it's cleanly hit. And that'll send a message to his opponent, Jeffrey, that he needs to stay on the gas when the opportunity arises.
Well, Copigny didn't see a pot for basically 6 racks, and this was not straightforward when he came to the table. So what a visit that is. Absolutely brilliant from Copigny to very much keep himself in this match and just send a message. It is not done yet, not by a long way. 6-3, remember it's a race to 9. And that was a terrific visit. I mean, we kept seeing him. They kept cutting to him in the chair, just waiting for a chance. Chance came. He played the jump shot, of course, and kept going.
Yeah, it's actually been a really good match, right? Both of these guys have made very few, if any, mistakes. I'm excited to see what happens here. I'm kind of interested to see how Idnacio holds up in the later part of this match.
Of course, the danger now with obviously Copigny having the break, he could be sat there now for 4 or 5 racks, not being able to get to the table and having to think about, did I make the right decision with that push out earlier on? All these things kind of going to be entering his mind, aren't they?
No, that's very key. Great to point that out. I was a little taken back by the decision. I understand that you want to tie the 7 up or tie the 4 up and keep it from going, but at the same time, you had a forward look at the 2. You could have chipped it. You've been great at the defensive plays early on. To pass that up and go a different direction with the push out does send some type of a message to your opponent. Well, look what happened. Your opponent wins this game. I don't know what effect that had, but what effect will it have going forward?
Well, remember last shot Idnacio played, he apologised. He reckoned he got fortunate, but that was his last shot. Anyway, Copigny has the break back. 3-6.
Yeah, really bearing down on this break. He knows how important it is to keep control. Oh, and that's the hit he's looking for. Is he going to get a shot on the 2? And he is. So to your point, Dave, does he take control for the next few racks?
That's the danger, isn't it? That's the danger. Certainly the way he won that last rack, he didn't look like someone who'd been sat out for, 20 minutes.
No, he didn't. He's got to come with a couple good shots. Looking to come all the way over here to the left side of the table for the 3 in the top left. He's got to play the 2 in the top right. He's got options, but he wants to get position on the 4. So however he gets on this 3, needs to land nicely to get to the 4. And from there, still got a little work to do with the 7 where it's at. I don't see a lot of trouble past the 4, though. Two big shots coming up here. Starting with the 2. He's elected to come all the way over. I can't blame him. What's he got in mind here? Looks like he's going to go forward and avoid the 8. You can hear the pocket. Clean. Very clean, Dave.
Yeah, he's proved his mettle, hasn't he? In the last few minutes. Got to keep going, though. Just one shot, as we know, can change things again.
A little tricky, the 7 ball. Their fundamentals. This family of players, the 3 brothers, fundamentals as good as they get. Now, taking a look at the 7 and where he wants to be, I think he's made his mind up. Looks like he's considering the top left corner for that brown ball.
Oh, it wriggled.
Yes, it did, and I did say that these players will avoid the middle pockets. That was straightforward into the middle pocket, and he went out of his way to play it in the top right. A little steeper angle. He caught that ball pretty thick, a little steeper angle, and I think he was wanting, Dave, I don't know, might change his mind and go to the top right with the brown 7. Depends on how he feels when he gets down on this ball. That's what he's evaluating now. Not much that young man can do either. Now it's almost reminiscent of what Ko has been dealing with.
He's sort of doing that thing of sort of not watching and then a little glance over just at the moment. That old thing. I'm not watching, honestly. Oh, actually, I am, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that a time or two.
Not liking what he's seeing. Again, this has not been straightforward, but Ko Pin-Yi, mentally, clearly very strong. Didn't panic at 6-2 down. Just had to wait for the chance, which he has grasped now with both hands. Still trailing, but at the moment, obviously looking the stronger of the two. It's in his hands. He's got the break, of course, because he's pulled another one back. Another terrific rack from Ko Pin-Yi. It's been a good match, this, and there's only 2 in it now at 6-4.
Yeah, it's been a good match, like you said. I don't know how long it's been since they've actually missed a ball, right? I don't know. It's been a long time since I believe they've missed a ball that they're supposed to make. Safeties were great as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was rack 2, wasn't it, Ko Pin-Yi? You missed that, the blue 2. A tough one to put at the pocket to top right of your screen. That might have been it, actually.
Yeah, and that was the one where you kind of said he might have talked himself out of that. And I agree. I think he's supposed to make that 9 times out of 10 easily. And since then, it's been a clean match.
Yeah, and we will see how it transpires. Of course, Ko Pin-Yi is a former champion. 2015 beat Shane Van Boening in the final 13-11 last year. Won the Whirlpool Masters. Beat the man we're going to be seeing next, actually. Catchy 13-5, former World Cup of Pool winner as well, and 12th in the world, obviously one of the favourites this year, and last couple of racks justifying that status. Still trailing, as I say, but he's got the advantage of the break.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning. I mean, we've got to talk about the equipment, right? Maybe the table's playing a little easier or a little more for the player right now. Jeremy Jones touched on that. He felt like these tables might play a little more for the player this week. Or are these guys just playing that good? Could be a little both. Was a little thin there. It seemed like he hit him a little firmer as well. He caught the 8. He's got that down with a couple kisses. Now what? Ignacio going to get back to the table. Can he chip the right side of this one, sending it towards the pink 4 and come around using the 6 and 9? Is that on? Or is it too thin? You could also play the 1-2 rails and maybe go into the back of the 4. The pink 4 with the cue ball. Let's see what he's thinking. Looked like he was elevating there for a minute. Yeah, so what's he got in mind? So he did play the chip shot, Dave. I think he's left the window.
Yeah, things are sort of maybe changing again. That's quite a narrow gap, but looks like he's got it. He just seemed to sort of run through all the options there, didn't he, as he was sort of thinking about playing it various different ways. Wasn't quite sure of the best way to go.
He kind of fooled me multiple times. I thought he was going to draw the ball, then I thought he was going to cut the ball, then I thought he was going to kick the ball. I didn't know what he was doing. Well, he finally shot the first shot I mentioned. I think here, if he can see enough of it, he's got to go for the pot, right? Yeah, I believe that's what he's got to do if he can see enough. Well, he could. That's a ball missed. Overcut that ball.
Bit of a trudge back to the seat as well.
Body language doesn't look great to me.
It's strange, isn't it? Because it sort of now doesn't feel like he's in front. I mean, 6-4, you know, you take that at the start of the match, but it's just the way things are sort of developed. He's lost a bit of confidence, even though he's leading.
Yeah, very interesting. Clean strike there. He's going to have a cut on the blue 2. I don't know that you can ask for much more than that. Due to where the 3 is, if you just come back and forth and get out in the center, really put all your focus into making this. He's going quick to it, so he's weighing it up. Don't really think you want to relinquish your position at the table. Again, you've got the momentum. Definitely makeable. Nothing easy, but these guys are the best of the best. I think the 3 down here on the lower right, Dave, dictates this shot. If it's not sitting there, you might have to rethink it. Your percentages of coming away with a shot on the red 3 in the lower right are pretty high. Looks like he's wanting to put a lot of left on this ball. I don't know. He just never seemed comfortable, did he?
No, I think it's one of those, like you say, where the 3 is, he knew he had to play it, he just didn't want to, but he did play it, and he took a long time over it, kept wiping his cue down, just didn't like it. He sort of had a sort of look on his face as if to say, yeah, I've got to play this, but just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's about exactly the sense you could get from him. Idnacio, with a big opportunity to get back on the board. And this is what he does. Look at the spin he's put on this ball. Was that necessary? Well, you be the judge. I don't know. But the people liked it.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
There is something certainly about cue sports when you see them sort of up close in the flesh, as it were. You know, you do see the skill. That it's more evident actually even than watching on telly. And I'm sure there'll be people here watching for the first time as well who maybe play at one of the clubs I mentioned earlier. But what a chance to see the best in the world doing this stuff. And that can only inspire you if you are certainly starting out to really keep going. Maybe one day they'll be here.
Yeah, he's asking for the cue ball to be clean. Either he noticed something on it, maybe a little reaction there when he made contact with the 3. Neither here nor there. He's on his way to a 3-game lead. I don't see much slowing them down. He's acting like he's come up a bit short here. I believe he has come up a bit short. We might see a stroke shot here. And we did get to see it. It's going to land okay, but a little shallow. Could have played that in the top left corner. Decided to come all the way around.
Well, he wasn't looking happy earlier, as I say. He's trudged back to his seat. Felt he left a big chance for Coupigny, but Coupigny didn't like that at 2. In the end, he was right not to. So he lost 2 racks on the spin, but this to go 7-4 in this race to 9. Coupigny, arms folded, just had to watch that. He did have a chance, didn't take it, never liked the shot he was faced with, didn't get it. And Jeffrey Idnacio has gone 7-4 to the good. And as I say, you know, he almost kind of had to remind himself there, I'm still in front. Okay, lost a couple, and you know, his odd mistake here and there, but the fact is he was still in front, finished it nicely. So the next rack is huge, of course.
Yeah, and sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, right? In any cue sport or any sport involving a ball in a club or a ball in a cue, we can be our own worst enemy. Even though we have the lead, sometimes it's easy to fall into that mindset, but looks like Jeffrey's working his way out of it. He's played great so far. Both of them really have played a solid match for being their opening match on tight tables in this venue with this prize money.
Crowd has grown as well, hasn't it, as the nights go on. Maybe word getting round that this is a good game, and I'm sure people, obviously, they can move around the various tables. You can see a few people coming in now as this match approaches the climax. They don't want to miss it, so that's great to see.
Saudi Arabia setting the bar. We've talked about it over and over. $250,000 to the winner. That doesn't include other deals that winner will get, including sponsors, well, berths to other events, including guaranteed spot, I would believe, in the Moscone Cup, depending on where you're from. Uh-oh. And I don't know here. Looks like he can get to the 2. I don't know how much of it he can get to. If he can bank the 2 back up between the 4 and 9 and use the 3, or just use the 3 somehow. Oh. Pretty good there. This hit should be pretty easy. Dave, I don't know how hard the hit will be, but needs to get separation.
Yeah, this is a key part of the match now, clearly, for Ko Pin-Yi.
Wants to catch the bottom side of this, too. I don't believe it plays in the middle right. Or at least the bottom half with a high cue ball. High will act as low, and he can stun down below the 9, maybe below the 3, get some distance. It's all you can ask for. Not bad, right? Pretty good distance. He's got the 2 in a funny position. There you did get a good look at the people in the background. As Dave said, they're piling in. They know what a good match looks like. Tricky here. And he knows it. So a real nice play by Ko Pin-Yi. Where do you go, Dave? Yeah, pretty clever. I don't know that he got there, but pretty clever.
Yeah, it's obviously always more difficult if it's just a single ball you're trying to cover with. Got cagey again, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's trying to use each long rail, right? Even if he doesn't get cover on the single ball, which is the brown 7. Going to get another pool ball cleaned, but still a pretty clever shot. If he doesn't get that cover, he's not leaving anything easy. Creating distance. Boy, a lot of work has gone into this venue, into this event. It's mind-boggling to see what Emily Frazier and Matchroom have done, teamed up with the Saudis. Oh, what a clean hit. How's this going to finish?
Yeah, it was a different sort of shot, wasn't it? But in the last rack, he had a sort of thin cut there, and he didn't like it, and he didn't get it, but got that one.
Yeah, and I feel like the shot he had last rack might have been a little easier than that, but he was just totally committed there. You could see he was committed to the pot, whereas he was in between the rack prior. Really just needs to get this down. The pink 4, it will play in the left middle. He's got a little more angle than we thought. Good look there. not thrilled about it, Dave, and the reason being is he caught it a little thicker than he thought he would. Like to have come off the rail a bit more. He's got a pretty steep angle. I think he can get around. He's going to have to hit this with speed. Not a fun thing to do going into that left middle with pace. Better be accurate.
Yeah, not a lot of margin for error, of course, with the match score line as it is.
Is he entertaining the bank? Maybe playing a two-way. No, he's elevating. So he must be. Yeah, so he tried to cross the face of that, Dave, whereas I thought he could roll it across the face of it. Maybe use the brown 7 as cover if he happened to miss it. These 9-ball players, they don't like to roll things. They want to ensure the make. Well, he ensured the mistake there. Made this look so easy from that position. Six ball. Pretty awkward. Needs to carry an angle due to the position of the 7. Does he come all the way down past the 9? Just try to get close to it. Or does he just come one rail over? That's what he's done. This is the problem. You don't want to get flat or straight in. He can manage this. There. Go forward. Easier to miss the ball. Knowing him, he might draw it back below the 9. Well, look at this. He did draw it back below the 9, and he's missed the ball.
It's such a vital rack, this, and I think that's reflected in the last few shots we've seen.
And you've got to wonder, is that why he's in the 87th spot? I don't know that everybody would have played that shot that way. Pretty tough the way he hit it. His pockets, not a lot of room for error. That type of speed, if you're a fraction inaccurate, it's not going in.
I'm hoping he has been constantly wiping his cue. It might be a bit sticky out there. Sticky in the match. He was looking like going 8-4 down, but it's 7-5. Big rack to win that. Idnacio did have the chance, so this this could be going all the way. Maybe 7-5, not much in it now. This was the winning ball, but a lot had happened before then, hadn't it?
Yeah, a lot had happened. I'm a little surprised. I did call the stroke shot that he shot, and that's what he likes to do. He likes to put power into him. He generates a lot of power, Idnacio. But I don't know. I think his counterpart or his opponent would have played it differently. Probably would have gone forward or ensured the make. Is that the difference? Is Idnacio a big favorite from here? I don't really know. You almost get the sense that he's not. In a 7-5 lead, Dave, it seems pretty big. But you just get the feeling like maybe it's not.
Especially if he's thinking, oh, it should be 8-4. You know, that's the problem. You get all these thoughts, you replay shots, got to try and just look forward. Not easy. And you know, this is such a big match in a big tournament. Obviously, it is double elimination, but you want to get that first win, get onto the winner's side. Here we go then. 7-5. Ko Bin-Yi won a very nervy 12th rack to get the break.
In the latter part of this match, you just get the sense that he's been more solid in a lot of different ways. I guess probably the biggest way would be that emotion side. He hasn't shown any, good or bad. He's got the 8 down again. You've got to wonder if it caught the kiss, and what's the 3 gonna do? Can he go rail first here? We're gonna get a look at the break, I assume. Wonder if the 8 went clean or if it got a kiss. I would think it had to get a kiss. It did, by the pink 4. Now, can he go rail first? If he can, changes everything. Pretty steep, meaning I feel like he'd have to swerve into it or elevate a little bit. And with this new cloth, you don't exactly know how it's going to react. Yeah, he's definitely elevated. He's got to hit it easy as well because the new cloth won't come back in time. Yeah, he's weighing it out, evaluating whether he has to swerve it or not. Looks to me like he does. Bad sign for Ko Bin-Yi. He's been nowhere near making the 1 in the right middle. I can't imagine he's playing the 8 with a kiss in the lower left, but it's possible. Yeah, I almost feel like Dave. I almost feel like he's got to stay aggressive here. I think he's looking at the push out or the roll out. He's looking to bring the cue ball down here. And that's what he's going to do. I can promise you the man on your screen, Idnacio, thrilled with that opportunity.
Yeah, the longer he was looking at playing the swerve to play cushion first, the less likely he was going to play it. And I guess he might be worried that if he misses it, he's leaving the 1 over the pocket and probably doing the rack.
Yeah, I think he's underhit that as well. I think he wanted to come down further. He had something pretty good in mind. I think he wanted to kick behind the 1 and use the 3 as cover. But from this position, it's going to be a little tougher to kick behind the 1 with complete accuracy. I think he wanted another rotation or 2 out of the cue ball. It's going to be funny or hard for Idnacio to pass it up. He is not scared to elevate. He's got more room now, too. But if you hit this hard, the cue ball won't have time to come back on the newer cloth. It's a little tricky. It's actually a lot tricky, because if he catches any part of that rail too high up, he won't get to the one. Well, you rarely see this. I believe he's passed it back, Dave. Interesting. And I feel like Ko wanted to get the cue ball down another rotation or two so he could accurately kick behind the one and use the 3 as cover. Now it's so thin that he's going to have to take his chance from behind. I don't think he can take the chance to go rail first in front to make the ball. If he was going to do that, I believe he would have done it prior. Is he looking to just clip the top side of this? Yeah. Pretty clever. Got a little love with the blue 2. And what he did there is just played his percentages. Knew he was going to catch the top side of the one. He wasn't playing to make it. Knew he was going to catch the top side of the one and leave a lot of distance. You could almost say he knew he was leaving the cue ball where he left it.
I think if we didn't have the score strap on, you would know we're deep into the match now. You can see from the body language of the players, every shot now is feeling massive, including that last one.
Looking to take this on with a low right ball. Pretty standard shot. It's awfully steep, but these guys shoot this shot in practice and in competition like it's nothing. How will he hit it now? Does not want to contact the 7. Wants to come above it. Play the 2 in the lower right. Can he hold it? Once again, rubbing that cue. You got to wonder how humid it really is down there.
Just a little reaction there. That's the first one, really. Yeah, it clearly is a bit sticky, but also it's on his mind. You know, obviously you want to deliver the cue smooth. That's fundamental. And so even if it's not sticking, if it's on your mind that it might, it's going to affect the shot, clearly.
Well, something I can point out as well, and that's a great point. The man at the table using carbon fiber. Ko Pin-yi using wood.
So Ko Pin-yi, you just saw just a little tap, just letting us know the frustration. Can Idnacio take advantage though? Ooh, no.
And this is 2 in a row, Dave, where he's been pretty quick in the backswing. A lot of extra power. Is it really necessary? You can almost sense what's happening here. Big opportunity for Ko Pin-yi. Both really starting to feel like they're tightening up a bit, right? The nerves seem to be uptight. Ko Pin-yi's mannerisms just seem like it's hard for him to get comfortable. I didn't think he had to go into the 2. He didn't feel comfortable rolling the 1. That's caused this issue. Wanted to catch a lot more of the 2, but with the left English, you always felt like you took a chance of leaving yourself above it.
Just bears out what you were saying, though. It's got a bit sort of fractious, and every shot is a lot on every shot now. It's not flowing like it was earlier when obviously we weren't anywhere near the end.
Very awkward here. He's going to try to use the 9. Well, he's used the 7, which is just about as good. He waved his hand again, Dave, kind of like, well, I'm sorry, or I got lucky, but you know the 7's there. He was obviously trying to get below the 9. Pretty tough to do from where he was, and he was using a bridge. I'd say he did just fine.
I always think with that as well, the opponent, they must feel worse because he's still got the cover, basically. He's apologised, but it's not like he's, left him in.
2 misses in a row for Idnacio. This, not straightforward. Watch that top middle pocket. If he does happen to make it. Did he get a roll? Tough to tell. The good news here is if he can get this ball down, notice the pink 4 on the lower right side of the table, really just got to make the 3. If you can get the 2 down, going to the jump cue. Fairly straightforward jump. Got to just be going over a fraction of the 3, as you see.
Of course, there's no shot clock on this table, and they are taking time over shots now, but that's because they're not straightforward, a lot of them, or equally positioning the match. It just feels like every shot's big.
He's acting like he's got a clean pocket here. Very, very clean strike as well. 1 rail over for the 5. Playing the pink 4 in the lower right. In this match, you just get the feeling it's going to be tied up soon. Whether it's 7-7 or 8-8, you just get that feeling. I could be wrong. I believe he's going to be within 1 here soon. Things have just gotten a little tricky, Dave. As soon as I say that, of course, I believe he can just roll this in.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's not quite as planned, but it could have been a lot worse actually, so just deep breaths. He really had to fight hard in this match. Remember, he was 6-2 down. Really not able to get any sort of shot. There have been a few mistakes, that's all added to the intrigue. but it's about positive attitude, isn't it? That's what you've got to keep. Piling pressure on Idnacio by getting closer and closer to him.
Speed very good there.
Well, this is a test of nerve as much of a test as skill right now. Coping years to pass the test in that rack. There's one in it. It really has turned into a first night thriller here in Jeddah, with Jeffrey Idnacio now leading only 7-6. It's got a lot closer. Remember, he was 6-2 up, but now it's anyone's. Coping Yi just leaves the arena once again.
20. You need to go 20.
I think his opponent is going to do the same, so we're going to have a slight delay, but it's a fascinating stage of this match. It's been, as I say, a few nerves have played a part. That's inevitable, but a lot of skill on show as well. And well, the best is yet to come. We've got an exciting finish to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the decisions from Idnacio later in this match. A couple times he's overpowered the ball, or maybe nerves have gotten the best of him. I don't really know. Might ask him after the match, depending on whether he wins or loses this match. I don't want to ask him if he's lost it, but a couple little decisions that he could have made, I think, going forward on the 6 that he missed up in the top left, where he tried to draw below the 9. That really started it off. From there, it's just gotten worse. We did see a little emotion from Ko a couple racks ago, but it seems like for the most part he has been steady as it goes.
Yeah, he's looked sort of more ready when the chances come. And okay, there's been a few errors, but you know, he held himself together well there. And well, 7-6 is a bit of a coin toss right now. We're just waiting for the players. When they come back, of course, we'll pick up. We've still got another match on this table as well to look forward to. He has the break in rack 14 of a possible 17.
Been short on the 1. He's made an adjustment, and that is a very big sign, and that seems to be what these guys do, these brothers. Look at this opportunity to tie this match up at 7 apiece. And take another look. This is pretty much exactly how you want to hit him. Idnacio can only sit and wait. Maybe hope a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, he may have to hope, I think. He'll be looking at the table thinking, well, I could be in trouble. But you've got to obviously stay mentally prepared if the mistake does come.
Long bridge here from Big Ko. 1 rail out for the 3. He'll do the same to the 4. The only trick here, maybe to the 7. Yeah, he's starting to get more comfortable as well. They get up for this occasion, the Ko brothers. They get up for it. Looking to stay above the green 6. At worst, he can travel 1, 2, 3 around for the 7. After making the 6. But for now, it's the 5 to the 6. Still Having a hard time getting comfortable with that cue. Wishing it to slow down. It's got a little bit of angle here.
Yeah, the last event, of course, the UK Open was in Telford in the English Midlands. So I tell you, humidity was not an issue there. The weather wasn't great. This is a different climate.
Yeah, and you can see here, Dave, he's pretty steep on the 6. I don't know if he can clear the bottom side of the 7, playing the 7 into the lower right corner. He's come a little farther than he wanted here. Big moment. To avoid any risk and just stay below the 7, or do you try to go up into the 9 maybe? There's another option. You can use an inside ball, try and kill that cue ball off the second rail and go up thick into the 9. Boy, these players do not like to run into another object ball unless they're forced. Let's see what he has in mind. Looking at that 2-rail line. Have to put a bit of check on that ball, which is a little inside. He's going to miss the 9, but he's going to fall in the gap. I don't know if it's makeable in the lower left. It is in the lower right. This shot filled with pressure. This is one of those shots that could easily hang up if you catch it a fraction thick or thin. So he's got to be accurate. You'd say to yourself, well, the defensive play looks pretty obvious. It's almost one of those positions, right, Dave, where you feel like you've got to make it happen.
Absolutely. Big shot this in the match. And it stayed out. Yeah, and the cue's come down. Not what he needed. A shot like that, it was always missable. He has missed it. Idnacio just composing himself here.
Yeah, and you kind of feel like that was the risk of shooting the 7. It was always going to stay near that corner pocket. You see the emotion from Copigny. Is this $1 million added? Getting to these guys already in the first round. That's something he likes to do, Dave. He will let that cue ball go. When he's on, it looks great. When he's a little off, it can go against him. Speaking of Idnacio.
He just took a moment, didn't he, before the 7. Come great on this.
Yeah, this definitely could have been a little easier. Also seems like he's been struggling to get to 8.
But it goes in. So a big cheer actually from his supporters. Jeffrey Idnacio on the hill at 8-6. And Copigny just ruining He was really more the position to the 7 and just put himself under pressure on it, missed it, and now he's going to have to win the last 3.
Yeah, and that was a result of overrunning position on the 6. Tried to go 2 rails into the back of the 7. Proved costly. Another look, making that 9. Not too bad. He was stretched out with the extension.
Well, it's been a fascinating match. If you are just joining us, welcome along. It was, of course, Copigny won the first 2 racks, and then Idnacio won the next 6. Copigny gradually got himself back into it, but crucially, of course, has not drawn level. So Idnacio with the break, with the chance straight away here to get this one.
Yeah, and you almost got the feeling like this match was meant to be tied up all along, but all it takes is one little error. That error is from Copigny. Just what the doctor ordered for Idnacio.
Of course, at the moment, it's out of his hands. Copigny hoping to get a look in this rack. If he doesn't, then he'll be defeated here.
Overall, I feel like Ignacio's probably been the better player. He's made a couple mistakes late, but his break has stayed consistent. The 1 has stayed consistent. His shot making's been great, just overamped a few times. Nice kiss on the 8 there. The 2 doesn't play, I don't believe, past the 7. Can he play the cue ball? Past the 7, kind of banking the 2 out towards the center, or almost towards the 8, and following forward. It's a shot these guys like to play when they're close to the ball. Is he interested? Crossing the 2. Now he's looking at the shot I was discussing. He doesn't like it. He's shaking his head, Dave. I'm wondering if he could cross the 2 into the left middle and kind of drift up there behind the 8, or is it too thin?
Yeah, obviously he's got the best view, hasn't he, down there? What, as you say, was shaking his head.
Not terrible, though. He's not thrilled with it, but it's not terrible. Really no path for the cue ball if you're playing the 2 in the lower left. Actually, pretty tricky position if you're in Copigny's shoes. Is he looking to possibly cut the 2 towards the 9, send the cue ball 1-2 back up towards the purple 5? Let's see what he's got in mind. Yeah, and he is evaluating. He could definitely bank the 2 back up towards the 8 and just leave distance. So he wanted to send the cue ball towards the 9 as well. He's fallen thin here. Like to have had that miss from Ko. Get him a little flatter on the 2. So he's going to have to manipulate something Maybe even take his chances. I was going to say, maybe take his chances and run into the 3. He's caught the 2 a little heavy. As you see it catch the top side of that side pocket. Not out of the woods yet, Ignacio. You'd like to think he could chip the 3 and get all the way down behind the 6, but the 4's in the way, so he's going to come off the 3 and get behind the 5. He's done well. The hit shouldn't be too difficult for Ko.
Got to the table quick, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's okay with this. He knows he's going to make good contact. These guys are so good at getting distance. Still takes an accurate hit. Of course, Ignacio wasn't in love with it. He knew he was going to leave him close to the 3. Not too bad, though, for what he had. Oh, and just about kicked the ball in, Dave.
That was close.
And that's the problem when you leave those guys that close to the object ball, and that's what Ignacio was concerned about. He knew he was going to make a hit. Knew he was going to make a hit most likely on the pro side of the object ball. Notice where the cue ball finished. Could be a fun one to watch.
Well, you heard the oohs and ahs. We didn't quite see it, but you can see that 3 very nearly found the pocket.
Yeah, and you've got to wonder if he went at the 9 there. Evaluating the 7 ball. See if it goes clean. Of course, he can use the purple 5 if needed to open those up, the 9 and 7. Doesn't want to get straight. Yeah, that's okay, straight. Better than another rotation or 2. He didn't want to be elevated off this left long rail. Still a little awkward, especially if he has to go into the piece of the 9.
Yeah, that could be Ignacio's big hope in this rack. Because, of course, all right, he's 8-6 up, but if he loses the rack, he loses the break, so he's not guaranteed to get another shot in the match if that happens.
I feel like the 7 might go on its own.
Yeah, he had a look at it, didn't he? But he sort of didn't give any clues out.
Yeah, dangerous if he's going into this 9. great result.
Well, of course, this was the ball in the last wrap that he missed to open the door. Different sort of shot, clearly more difficult. We could yet be going the distance here. This then to trail by just one at 8-7. Again, he's wiping down that cue. Just needs one final clean delivery in this rack. And that is it. So Ko Pin Yi is hanging on in there. He's taking that one out very nicely indeed. It's 8-7 to Jeffrey Idnacio. But of course, Ko Pin Yi now has the break back. Fascinating. Very exciting match this, and a few errors here and there have also contributed, but there's been plenty of skill on show as well. And at this stage, it's also all about holding your nerve. In this huge event, of course, we keep saying it, but biggest money 9-ball pool event we've ever seen. So that is also there in the background. Already, the odd player might have had a dream about how they're going to spend the £250,000 first prize. Why not? It's there for the taking on Saturday. For somebody.
Yeah, and you just notice the body language out of both of those guys. I sense a little different vibe from Idnacio at times. Sometimes he seems upbeat and ready to go get him in this match itself, and then at other times, arms crossed, a bit worried look or worrisome. More so the same thing from Ko, where he's just intent. I still, Dave, feel like this match could easily be tied up.
Yeah, it's feeling like it will be. Let's see. Well, you never know. This obvious break shot obviously could be key to it. Ko Pin Yi still in the match. That's the key thing for him.
Oh yeah, he made the adjustment last time. Does the 2 go? That's gotten a little funny, but he made the 1 without a problem. Right in the heart. And this 2 is makeable. Can he control the cue ball?
That's the thing, isn't it? It is thin, which means the cue will be running a bit.
And he might just have to let it run. Take your chances. Definitely going to stay aggressive. The 3 does have a pocket in the top left if he does come around and avoid the traffic. I believe the 5 has the 3 covered in the left middle. The bridge is awkward. Very awkward. Yeah, and what a clean hit. You can see the cue action. Very little, if any, nerves in that movement or transition. Did he fall okay on the combo? I don't know that he wants to take this combination on under this situation or circumstance. Here comes the cue ball. Back around. Does he play the 3-5? Well, he has played the 3-5, and he's landed perfect on the 3. Everything else opens up. He's just got to get to the 7.
Looking very determined now, isn't he? You know, he's sensing a big chance.
Yeah, he hasn't looked totally comfortable this match, ever, at any point to me. I've seen him play a lot over the last year, but he's looked more confident in the later parts than he has the earlier parts, to your point.
I think, yeah, nothing focuses the mind like, you know, the imminent prospect of defeat and all that, and it's just got himself together. So it's in his hands to take us the distance.
Took a deep breath right there. He knows what this means. Pretty natural here. He can come 1 or 2 rails over for the 7 in the lower left, or he can play the 7 in the left middle. This is player preference. Looks like he's playing the 7 in the left middle. Well, he fooled me. 3 balls away from 8 apiece. What does he not like here? Maybe a little below the 7. Just regrouping. Caught the thin side of that pocket. As you can see, that cue ball go a little further than he liked.
Showed a couple of bits of frustration tonight. He sort of banged the rail, he banged his cue at one point, but this, and it's hill, and we go into the last rack. It's a thriller, all right, on the first night of the World Pool Championship. Coping, he has dug in all evening. He was 6-2 down, he was 8-6 down, 8 apiece. It's all on the last rack. Well, you did call it, Scott. You said you'd had that feel about it, and here we are.
Hey, you almost feel like Idnacio needs a miracle at this point for some reason. You just get that sense that he is starving for a gift. Where, as Copigny seems to be the man, ready for the job. Arms crossed for Jeffrey Idnacio. Copigny ready to break.
Yeah, and he played so well, didn't he? From 2 down to 6-2 up, he was superb actually, but that's all in the past. As he watches this break shot with great interest.
Yeah, and with that 6-2 lead, we got senses of negativity from Idnacio, and you pointed those out a few times, and just kind of started all turning sideways when he got a little out of line on that 6, and then kind of straight on the 7, was worried about leaving a long 8. He ended up working through that rack. I don't exactly remember the score, but the negativity started to come there from Idnacio. you just got this weird vibe at that point. There they are. Class move. One game for all of it.
Here we go then, 8 apiece. The last rack.
He has made a great adjustment on the break. Struggled early. Catching way low of the right middle with the 1. Let's look for it in the center of the pocket. And there it goes. Where does the 2 finish? Look at this, Dave. You couldn't ask for a better layout in a situation like this.
Absolutely. So it's well and truly in his hands here. But what a chance to get this one. Having been, let's be honest, chasing the game most of the night, but dug in. And now over to you, Ko Pin Yi.
He's 7 balls away from stealing this match from Idnacio, but you felt like he was on his skirt tails for the last half of the match. Can he hold himself together? Nicely done. Stayed off the rail, carried the angle anywhere. Center table for the 6. I don't see much trouble, if any at all.
Yeah, and credit to him, assuming he does get it one here, because as I say, there were a couple of little moments where he got frustrated, but when the chances came after that, he was ready to take them. And he certainly got his break worked out as well.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest factor, Dave. I think he made that adjustment in the break, catching the ball a bit thicker and putting a little more pace on it. You typically don't see frustration from him, but like you said, we saw it twice. I don't think we're going to see it again.
Well, it's a big, big week, and it's not going to be plain sailing towards the title. Who knows? This could be his toughest match of the week. You just don't know, but it looks like he's going to win it. Here we are then. Ko Pin Yi on the 9 for victory. Well, it's been a terrific opening match, and Jeffrey Idnacio more than played his part, but it is Ko Pin Yi of Chinese Taipei who gets the win at 9-8. He was chasing the game from 6-2 down, but from